Relentless, you got fire. He's the spark that lifts you higher. You were made for joy, made for more. It's time to walk through heaven's door. The world is yours, take your place. Every dream aligned with grace. Overflow is your reward. Walk it out, abundance is yours. Oh, you can change it every time. Hope and faith, they realign. You're not stuck, not anymore. 'Cause girl, abundance is yours.
Hey everyone, this is Julie Loughlin Haers. So glad for you to join us here today on Divine Abundance with my good friend Rachel Brady. Rachel, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody. I am grateful to be here.
Oh, thank you. Rachel is so fun. We met just a short time ago. We were actually in a class together, and I was so fascinated about all of the businesses that she's involved with and the work that she's doing that I thought it would be so good to have her on the show. Rachel, I'm going to let you tell everyone about the 3 companies that you work with and the other affiliations that you have. If you could share with everybody just a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I own luxury events. I also co-own Trio Life Events and the Wedding Club with my sister, where we host bigger expos and retreats. And then I also am head of sales for Blake Jewelers, selling wholesale packages for stainless steel, silver, gold, diamonds, gemstones, anything you can think of. And so for luxury events, I do private events for clients. I also host public events, do full event planning. We do day of coordinating. We do video, photo, content creation. We also now have licensed officiants we can add into packages. And we also are now into doing drink packages. So we can offer bubble teas, we can offer iced coffees, any sort of mocktails. We've now just added that into our business as well. So I'm very excited to launch that going forward.
That's super exciting, Rachel. Tell me, what was the inspiration behind starting the event company? Like, why did you feel like inspired to get involved with that?
So, when they ask you when you're a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you're
Yeah.
like, I just remember I loved attending parties and I loved being a part of like planning like birthday parties and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, it'd be fun to be an event planner. But as I got older, I got into more of a corporate line. And then it hit me. I'm like, I don't really, I don't really remember, I guess, the last time I was happy,
Yeah.
right? So then I kind of went back and I'm like, okay, well, again, if I could go back and do anything. But it really kind of fell into my lap. I started off doing photography and then I ended up being a manager for a hotel, running events there. And I'm like, you know what? I can do this. So then I went and I got internationally certified to be an event planner and then
Wow.
added that back into my company. And then as of 2025, I actually went full force and I fully run my business now. And it's been an incredible experience and journey.
I love that. I love that, Rachel. And so excited to see that you are connecting into like what makes you you and you didn't give up on your dream. Like that is very inspiring. I know a lot of people will be excited to hear that. A question that I ask all of my participants on Divine Abundance is, what does divine abundance mean to you?
I think it's your state of mind. I think you are as limited as you allow yourself to be. And for abundance, I feel like it means it's your natural flow. So I feel like if you can just flow with what the universe aligns with you, then it naturally puts you on your path and why you're here and what you're meant to do. And I think I have finally found my path. And I find this very inspiring because I have 2 beautiful daughters and a son. And they get to watch me as I've turned nothing into an entire empire that I'm building. And now it's inspired my daughter to want to do the same thing. So I'm very grateful to be on this journey. I'm very grateful
Mhm.
that they get to watch me on this journey and learn from me as I learn and grow.
That's amazing. And if we can inspire the next generation and I always think about legacy transfer and legacy planning because it was so important to my father, who I just recently lost. And he always said, build businesses, guys, that the kids can come with you in it, just like he did for my brother and I. He had a consulting company and we did do some work with him and learn from him along the way. It was really inspiring. So if anytime when I see somebody building a business that can include other family members or could be transferable. I get so inspired and happy by that because I know what a gift that can be financially and just from a perspective of teamwork and family dynamics and just really having a close network of family members working together collaboratively on a common goal is pretty cool. So kudos to you, Rachel, for thinking about that and the impact that that can have not only on your life, but your children. I think that's pretty inspiring. I want to ask you something. What is one of the biggest things in your life or in business that you have overcome?
I gotta say, honestly, it's the simplest thing. I never quit. And even through the experiences that I went through, and I actually was in a traumatic physical accident and I tore through my spine and had to have emergency spinal surgery actually about a year and a half ago. And I am currently now permanently 80% disabled, believe it or not. And I even think like through all of that, I still push through. Like I gotta say again, it's state of mind. I wasn't gonna allow me to let it set me back from what my goal was and what my purpose is here.
Mhm.
So I believe, honestly, my biggest accomplishment is that I am relentless and resilient and that I never quit. And
I
I
love
think
that.
that's the biggest gift I can even show my kids
Yep.
that if I can do it, they can do it.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a big lesson for children. My son still talks to me today about times that we had when he was growing up, when I was on the road, and he's like, Mommy, I don't know how you did it. In fact, you know how your kids, you don't think they're watching, but the other day he sent me the like sweetest little meme and it was like, I'm just so lucky to have the mom that I do. And he's like, Mom, I can remember the days that you got up at, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, you drove to New York City, you did your job, and then you drove home so that we could have dinner together. And you don't think your kids are watching. Like he was very small. Like he was probably 5 or 6 when I did that. And he remembers that. He remembers those times where, as moms, we put them first. We do our job to the highest of our ability, but we put our children first. And I think that speaks volumes, Rachel. And I think you'll see that as they get older. I'm experiencing the other side of it where, he's in college now. You'll start to see that.
Right.
And that it's really exciting. As you think about your business and everything that you're doing, what's something that's got you like really excited about 2026 that you're just like, can't wait to share with people? This is something that I'm doing, or just anything that you'd like to share with the viewers that you think is a really cool thing that you'd like to let other people know about.
Absolutely. So, as of right now, we're going to be launching wellness and spiritual retreats through our business Tree of Life events that I co-own with my sister, Stephanie Polano. And we are possibly going to be having one in Orlando um this October, and then we're looking into Ireland and actually having a spiritual retreat on a cruise. And it's not like your typical spiritual retreat. This is going to be about getting in touch with your own nervous system to learn to be able to release all of the negative experiences you have, any trauma, any pain, anything that has been holding you back, and shift your entire mindset back into alignment. So that way you can go back into your life and now apply what matters to you most, apply what you love, apply anything that inspires you to now live the life that you are meant to live. And I'll be excited to partnering with a lot of different businesses and coaches and teachers on this. And I hope to expand this even broader.
I think
So
that's
very exciting.
so exciting and life-changing work. I could speak intimately to the work that Rachel's speaking about because that's how we met. And I really feel like it's going to have tremendous impact for people. And I'm very excited that you're heading the charge with that. I think that's really exciting. You and your sister, I'm excited for you guys and the retreat that you're going to be hosting, and I may even be a part of it. Who knows, right? So
Love
anything's
to have you.
possible. Yeah. Um, as you think about just your life in general in totality, Rachel, to where you are now, what is something that you're really, really proud of?
Honestly, I think it's how far I've come in a very short time. And again, going back, me and my kids, we kind of had a rough start in the beginning. And I dealt with being a single mom and trying to work with nothing, and then building myself up from there. And it took about a decade. But I can finally say that through all of the experiences, all the lessons, it's definitely made me a much, much stronger person today. And I don't think I would have gotten this strong without going through those experiences. And even my daughter said to me the other day that we are much stronger now for it. And so it
Mhm.
gives me much pride and love to see that even in the darkest moments, light can come out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's probably the biggest thing that stuck with me the most.
You know, Rachel, what I've been noticing is that I'm on a lot of mom groups on Facebook, mommy groups and specifically single mom groups because a lot of people that know my story know that, I got divorced when my son was 4 or 5 years old. Eventually started a company, homeschooled my son, did all the things, as a single parent. What are some things, some pieces of advice that you could give some single moms? Because recently I've been seeing posts within the group where moms are like really stressed out, overwhelmed, feeling like they're not good in anything because they feel so thinly stretched across so many different planes. They're trying to work, they're trying to be a good mom, they're trying to keep their kids healthy, they're also trying to take care of themselves. What are some tips, techniques, things that you did along the way to keep yourself good and sane and taking care of yourself while still taking care of yourself or your kids? Was there anything that you did, practiced, tips that you could share with other people so that we could, help others along the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I truly believe that it has to start with us. Because if we are not centering ourselves, if we are not taking care of ourselves, we cannot take care of them.
Yep.
And it honestly, it comes back to joy and happiness and love. And we have to have something in our lives that fulfills that. Because if we do, then that becomes our main source of energy, even through all the work and the tired days and the nonstop running around. Because that's what the children recognize and see and relate to. So if they see that, even though we are doing the work, if we have something that gives us joy, a hobby, reading a book, going for a walk, anything that gives you just an extra spark of something to look forward to in that day makes a world of difference. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, it could be something as small as giving yourself, 10 minutes in the morning to drink a cup of coffee. That moment of something to look forward to really will help you with the rest of the day and shift your mindset to having a more
Mm-hmm.
positive day. And honestly, that's the key. And I
Mm-hmm.
think every mom actually forgets that because we're so I want to say consumed almost by
Yeah.
just being there for our children that we forget about ourselves a lot of the time.
We do. We do forget about
Um,
ourselves. We'll put ourselves like on the back burner just to make sure everybody else is good.
Absolutely.
It's very
So I think it's
common. Yep.
very, very important that we pour as much love back into us as
Hmm.
we do for them.
What are some practices that you practice today that you feel like are game changers that like keep you centered, keep you grounded, keep you thriving in the way that you are? What are some practices that you believe kind of like help you stay in the zone that you want to stay in?
Absolutely. Honestly, I think the first most important thing that you should do when you wake up in the morning is actually drink a tall glass of water. What I like to do is actually add some lemon juice into it, real lemon, and then I will also put some salt into it. And I use Celtic salt because it's the closest salt to your own natural enzymes that your body produces.
Hmm.
And then that essentially will hydrate you. And then I actually will go in to do some sort of yoga or Tai Chi movement because
Hmm.
just 10 minutes of movement in the day actually helps your body, it helps your brain, it helps your blood flow. It mentally will start preparing you for the day instead of trying to rush out the door because it essentially sets the mindset and the pace for the whole day to follow. So if you can give yourself that 10 minutes just to move, to breathe, to relax, it really makes a world of difference.
Hmm.
And that's how I start my days.
I have realized as I've gotten older, I no longer love rushing. So,
Me
so my
too.
new thing is, listen, like I used to be the person that would jump out of bed, like get in the shower, get my son ready, run down the stairs, be like a lunatic, be like a flurry of activity. I don't enjoy that anymore. Like I'm over that. So I've shifted as I've gotten older and I get up almost 2.5 hours before I have to be anywhere. The reason I do that is because I like to take my time in getting ready. And I also like to set the intention of the day. So, like, what am I accomplishing today? And it can just be one little thing, but it is something that, like, I will not sleep until I know it's done. But, like, that helps me. Because if you can imagine, if you have one thing that you're doing every single day and you do that for 5 days, you've accomplished 5 things that week. So, I'm really mindful for where am I spending my time in that day. And I try to stay focused on that. In addition to that, I do drink water per your advice and some other people's advice telling me I was a little dehydrated, and that has been very helpful. I also meditate for about 5 minutes, and I pray for about 5 minutes, and then I journal for only about 3 minutes, and then I'm up, do a couple light stretches, and then I'm on to my day. And I feel like by starting my day intentionally and not letting social media take over my day, I feel like I'm winning the day versus getting run over by the day. And it's a very different experience that you have. And I feel like the more mindful I am with that, the better I feel. So thank you for sharing that, because I know that's helpful for other people to hear some tips that help you feel, keeps you grounded and sane and in a good zone. That's super, super helpful. Rachel, is there anything else that you feel like called or inspired or just you've been thinking about that you're like, you know what, I'd really like to share this with the viewers today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us, especially moms, again, I feel like we've lost ourselves.
Hmm.
And I think that's why I feel so passionately about creating the programs and the classes that I'm in the process of making, because I feel like it's so important for us to find our purpose again, our center, beyond just our everyday work life. And I feel like if we can bring that back into our own realities and then we can teach that on to our kids, then I think that that's really the future we want to create for them. And that's the ripple effect I hope to create here.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you very much for that. You know, I came into the financial business to make an impact in the lives of women because of my experience and what I went through, losing the majority of my net worth and having to start over again at age 40. And what a long, arduous journey it's been. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There was parts of my journey that were not easy. But I'm grateful for a couple of things that I never gave up, that I continued to persevere, even when a lot of people told me I was crazy leaving the big job that I have, big corporate. It was very allegedly very secure. I was in very good standing with the company when I did leave. And a lot of people looked at me like, ooh, that's so risky to go start your own company. But I'm like, is it? Or is it risky to stay in the big corporate structure? So I just am grateful that I didn't back down. And I feel like as you're building your own business, sometimes along the way you get rewarded. And for the last couple of years, I've been richly rewarded with the gift of time and the time that I had to spend with my parents at the end of their lives. So because I own the company and because I have my own business, I was able to do that because I have a business partner who was able to run the business. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have had that time. And I could never get that back. So I'm super grateful for that lesson that I've learned. And, I continue to share that with other people. And I agree with you about sometimes we do as women lose ourselves because we do become so consumed in caring for other people, whether it's our children or our parents. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'm in the sandwich generation where my son is just in college, but my parents were aging. And so it kind of like you are stuck in the middle, and that's exactly what it feels like. So kudos to you, Rachel, for, thinking about that for women and coming up with a solution. One thing that you and I have in common, and we've joked and laughed about it, but it's so true. If we don't see it, we're just going to build it. So if we
Right.
don't see somebody else doing it, you're going to see the two of us either collaborating and doing it or doing it individually, but we're just going to do it. So that's the energy that I picked up from you right away and I loved right away. So kudos to you. I think that's exciting. What's your one word that kind of describes your energy for 2026?
Relentless.
Awesome.
And the
Awesome.
reason I say that is because there's nothing that can stop me.
Hmm.
I've been through too much that nothing scares me. So at this point, I know what my purpose is and why I'm here. And I'm so excited to share that with everybody and help everybody else find their journey as well.
Awesome. I love that. If you could go back, this is my last question. I ask everybody on my show this question. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self and share with her one or two profound learning lessons that you've learned, what would those lessons be?
Um, Honestly, I would just share because I was in such a weird phase at 18. And I felt very much alone. So I would share that no matter what happens, you're never alone. You are very loved, you are very protected, and everything is going to be amazing.
Mhm.
And to be honest, again, I think a lot of it, I had to go through it at the time. So I think maybe just the reassurance that you're protected, you are loved, and you got this, I
Mhm.
think is really all I needed. But I guess I didn't even need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's
Yep.
what I would share with myself if I could.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's funny that you said you're not alone because the one thing that at that age I can distinctly remember feeling very alone in the world. I think because you and I are different people, we're different from the average person. And we're deep thinkers, we're thoughtful, deep thinkers, we're kind-hearted. And I think knowing that there's something bigger than myself out there, God, the universe, whatever one believes in. But once I got connected to that idea of source energy and knowing that, God was really in charge and I was divinely protected by God, but also my ancestral lineage is always with me, looking out for me, supporting and guiding me. I do feel totally different in this time in my life than I did, so many years back when I was 18 years old. So thanks for sharing that. Thanks so much for being on Divine Abundance today. We are going to drop all of Rachel's cool links to all of her businesses and her social media. So if you have any questions for her, feel free to reach out and look for her in 2026 and all the exciting things that she has coming in store for all of us. So, Rachel, thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You got purpose, you got fire. He's the spark that lifts you higher. You were made for joy, made for more. It's time to walk through heaven's door. The world is yours, take your place. Every dream aligned with grace. Oh,